Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, a strap, a couple hard blocks, and a soft block will likely come in handy. And when you're ready, we'll get started in puppy dog pose. So if you like, you can make yourself a little platform with your hard blocks at the top of the mat, and then come up to a tabletop position. Just make sure that the knees feel comfortable here. So if you need to add a little padding or fold the mat in half or something, go for it. And then keeping the hips roughly on top of the knees, start to walk the hands forward in space, and then you can bring the elbows down to land on your blocks. Maybe taking the palms together, you can release the head maybe between the legs, or maybe that's resting on the tip of your blocks as well. And take a little time just to set yourself up, add in any support that you need wherever you need it. Let the chest dip towards the floor, let the head be heavy. Fingers can point towards the ceiling, or you can bend the elbows a little more, maybe thumbs towards the back of the neck. Make sure it feels like a pain-free expression. If you're feeling pinching or anything like that in the shoulders, you can find a similar expression but with extended arms. And you could also come to more of a child's pose shape. Once everything is set up and you feel ready, finding your stillness here, connecting with your breath, being in the shape. Gently start to re-extend the arms. Bring the palms to the floor to lift yourself up to a tabletop position. You can slide your blocks to the side and then lower all the way down to the belly. We'll set up for seal pose, so you can extend the arms out in front and then press the palms to the floor to keep the chest lifted. Now find a distance between the hands and the body that makes the shape feel sustainable for you. So if you like to walk the hands a little closer and be in a deeper back bend, then go for it. And we'll be here for a minute or two, so find something that will still feel, okay in that time. Mindful that the shoulders feel okay here as well if you do start to feel pinching, or if there's just, some discomfort that you're not comfortable with. You could also come to Sphinx pose where the elbows will be on the floor, a similar shape for the back, less intensity for the shoulders. Slowly, as you're ready, you start to lower the chest down towards the floor. You can stack palms under the forehead. And just pause here for a few breaths. Maybe rock the hips side to side to release the low back. And from here, as you're ready, we'll extend the right arm directly out towards the right. So you can do this with the arm extended, or you can do it with the elbow bent. So you might see how it feels going into it, and you can choose whichever one feels best for you today. You can bring the left hand towards the left, and then start to press down with the left hand as you turn the chest open towards the right. Straight away, check in here, see what this feels like. If you'd like to have a prop nearby for the head, then just look around and find your soft block, set yourself up. The left leg might be stacked on top of the right. You could also float it or lower it to the floor behind you. You can also keep it in front of you. Make sure everything feels secure through the head, neck, and shoulders. Left hand can stay to the floor. More challenge, maybe you're floating that behind or a half bind of some kind. Find your pain-free expression here. Bringing the left hand back down to the floor, and then slowly unwind and lower the chest back down. And we'll set straight up for the second side. So you can extend the left arm towards the left, either working with an extended arm or with a bent elbow. Have a prop nearby to support the head, and then right fingertips to the floor, start to turn the chest open towards the right. And the side may be exactly the same as the first, or it might need something different. So play around. Maybe the right leg floats behind you or steps down, back or front. And finding your pain-free expression. If you'd like to add something on with the right arm, mirror whatever you did on the first side. Be with whatever you're feeling. Gently releasing the right hand back down, lowering the chest back down towards the floor. Pause here for a few breaths. Maybe a little movement, rocking the head or the hips. When you feel ready, pressing yourself up to a tabletop position, and then hips towards the heels just for a moment to find your blocks and your straps to have nearby. So we're going to set up for a stretch, and generally the focus today will be the chest. But if you'd like to come with me to find shoelace or cow face with the legs as well, then you can add that in. Otherwise, you can be in an easy pose or a kneeling position. So if you're coming with me from your tabletop position, take the right knee out in front, right foot over to the left, and then the left knee behind it, left foot over towards the right. And then find your blocks, and you can make yourself a seat to come and sit on. Just take your time setting this up. If 2 blocks feels too high, then you're welcome to take one or both out. If you find yourself leaning over to one side, then generally I suggest adding a little more height to it. Maybe a block between the knees or anything else. Just make sure it feels stable for you. And then when you strap over to your left hand, reach the left arm to the ceiling and then bend the elbow. Right arm out towards the right with the thumb down, and then bend that elbow to catch the other end. You can walk the hands a little bit closer together. Just make sure that you don't bring them so close that you lose the stretch across the chest. Keep the spine nice and tall. Soften the facial expression. Maybe a slight tuck of the chin in towards the throat. And be in your shape. Gently releasing the arms. You might roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then if you're with me in shoelace, then come back to your tabletop position. We'll uncross the legs and then switch straight to the second side. So this time left knee in front, left foot over towards the right, and then right leg behind it. And lowering the hips back down to your seat. And this side may need something a little different to the first, so maybe a little more or less height. Strap to the right hand this time, reach it up, and then bend the elbow, left arm out left, thumb down, and then bend there to catch the other end. And this side may feel quite different, so don't worry if the shape if the shape looks different. Look for a similar feeling in the body. Gently release the arms. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then this time we'll release the top leg and then the bottom one. You can come up off of your block if you're on one. Give the knees a windshield wiper side to side to release. Awesome. And then from here, we'll sit up for butterfly. So if you have a soft block, you can come to sit off the edge of it, elevating the hips just a little bit, and then see what relationship you want between the feet and the pelvis, a little closer, a little further away. And then if you like to use your other blocks just to support the legs so that they have something to rest into. We're going to use this as a counter stretch for all those chest openers. So think about bringing the chin in towards the chest and gently starting to round from the upper back to the low. Mindful that it feels like a pain-free expression. Because we're rounding, make sure you're not pulling with the arms. And if for any reason this kind of fold doesn't work for you, feel free to fold with more of a flat back instead. Letting the head be nice and heavy here. Finding that stretch through the neck, the upper back, the shoulder blades. With the support of the hands, gently lift yourself back up. And then releasing the legs. Give yourself a windshield wiper side to side. And then you might come and find easy pose here or any comfortable seat. And we'll just release all that with a twist. So you can take the left hand to the right knee, the right hand behind you, and tall spine. Maybe gaze over that right shoulder and breathe here. Back to center, and then over to the opposite side. And then returning to center. And from here, we'll set up for a rest shape. So I'm going to choose a seated meditation for Shavasana today. If you'd like to come lying down on the back, then you can do that as well, or you can be in child's pose or any other comfortable symmetrical pose. If you're coming with me to easy pose, then maybe elevate the hips a little bit. See if there's any props you want around, or if you want a little blanket or something like that. Whatever's touching the floor, settle it in. Gently grow the spine, soften the shoulders, soften the chin towards the throat. Hands rest wherever they feel the most comfortable. Settling yourself in here, finding your rest. Gently bring your attention back to this space. Maybe wiggling the fingers, maybe rolling the head side to side a few times. If you're somewhere other than in a seat, then you can make your way here when you're ready. If you're in a seated position, then maybe switch the cross of the legs. You can collect the hands in front of the heart. Maybe bow the chin towards the chest. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. My name is Nicholas, and thank you for joining me for Yin practice. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.